Hey there, this is the CoronaMama Zoom room. I'm Angeline Chu Longshore with Malika Dudley. Hi, Malika. How are you? We're safe at
Good.
home.
Yes, still
Still safe at
8
home.
weeks later.
Well, we have a really fantastic show today, and this show is for you, for mamas. It's by moms for moms, and so it's all about what we're doing during this time. We want to help you through this time. We're all still safer at home, so we just feel like, there's a lot of feelings still going on, right, Malika?
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to start with our little exercise. So last week I had you guys, so you can do it with me. So the tongue off the roof of the mouth, the shoulders relaxed, and the jaw. Just release that jaw. And now we're going to add on, you're going to reach up with one hand and you're going to pull to the side, kind of reach up towards the sky. And then you do the other hand, hand up, reach over. Oh my
Oh,
God.
that
Don't you
feels
feel like a new
so
woman?
good. Oh, yeah, I heard like crinkles in my neck come out. Oh,
I
I
try
needed
to be
that.
more mindful, and it's a part of my children's curriculum for their school, but we just don't ever do it. So sometimes you just need someone to be like, hey, do this now. And then it just helps you to reset. So now that we've all reset,
The reset.
last week, we talked about how we're going to start the show with actions of aloha. We really want to feature one of you, Maui moms in the community. They're doing great things. And then we go into our topic. Last week it was feelings, and we had some great input from Tanya, Kaimana, and
Gina. Gina.
Gina. And we had some dancing moms, Lorinda and Annie. And so it was so great to have all of those people involved. This week, it is no different. Our topic today is all of those missed events, all of those just
Major missed
life,
events.
yeah, life events, things that when you think back to, I'm going to cry, my graduation, and so when you see that people's graduations are just so different and they're not getting the experience, the traditions that come with that, especially in Hawaii, we have these really amazing traditions. I know my tradition was jumping into the pool, for example. And at Hilo High, they did not get to do that. And it was, so anyway, we're going to talk about those events. And then we're going to wrap up with our challenge, which was the Baby Shark Challenge.
Yes, some brave families came forward. Well, at least one.
Yeah, and you'll see us dance too, I guess. So we wanted to start with actions of aloha. The first mom that we want to feature is Jennifer. Jennifer, she put together this mask making project, and her goal was 10,000 masks. And it wasn't just her, she's a Maui mom, but she brought together other moms. They just completed their goal this week, 10,000 masks. And what's really special about Jennifer is wanted to go that extra step because she was trying to make masks for medical workers, for our essential workers. And so she did all this research on what they need and what they want. And well, she just made sure that she spoke with the right people so that she could give them what they could actually use. She gave them these double filtered masks. The mayor just recognized her, and it's been amazing to see what one mom can do by just gathering and rallying a community. And you have someone too, right?
I do. I do. My Zumba teacher, Gina, she did free Zumba for 2 months. And I mean, I have what I call pandemic extra pounds, pandemic poundage. That is, come on, just, and I wanted to say, we might be gaining weight, not because we're like comfort eating. I'm not. But you know what? I'm not sleeping. I'm not able to sleep through the night. And so there's this whole metabolism change that's going on when you can't sleep because of anxiety. So if you're gaining weight, if you're, it's not your fault. And it's not that we're being lazy or just because we're at home. I really feel like I haven't changed my eating and I'm still exercising and my body's different. So, and you'll see in that dance video, my body's not so in shape, but it's okay. You know what? We're all moms, so it's okay. And I just wanted to let you know that we are all experiencing this, pandemic poundage. So that's part of it. So Gina was there. Her action of Aloha was to help all these women to do, to exercise and have fun. So we had such a good time. And I just felt like it was such a stress relief too, because we need to exercise. We need to feel good about ourselves. And I think she was one of the only things that I did during this time that really made me kind of laugh and smile, besides talking with Malika. I mean,
I've also made you cry though. I'm making you feel all the things.
We have to express ourselves as moms.
Yeah, shout out to Gina and to Jennifer for the amazing actions of Aloha that you're doing in our Maui communities. I like that, by the way, the pandemic poundage. That's very, it has a ring to it. For me, I'm definitely not exercising as much. So, but I could probably use the pounds. I'm a skinny person, so, I guess the extra 10 pounds is it's just going to be what it is.
Well, we're all going to bounce back. So, it's just, we have to give ourselves some slack. And, I think for our children too, we have to give them some slack, our husbands. We're just going through this, as we say, it seems so cliche now, unprecedented time. Like we've heard that, but literally it's unprecedented. So we don't even know how to maneuver and navigate through this. So give yourself some slack, be gentle on yourself. It's okay. We can get back to everything that we're doing in time, maybe even in a new way. So it's just a time. So I just had to share that with you because that's how I'm feeling.
Yes. I think a lot of people, can relate to that. So as we move on with our show, we're now going to move into our topic of the day, which is all of these moments that we're missing out on, or have to be modified in some way or postponed or changed completely or canceled. So we wanted first to check in with a graduate. So Anna and I took a class at UH Maui together. So she's a high schooler that was going to college with me. And she created this wonderful video to talk about her feelings about missing out on graduation. I think she has a really profound, beautiful message.
I've spent the last 12 years of my life working hard, studying, reading, writing. I've spent it making friends. I've been preparing for my future and figuring out who I'm supposed to be. And I was promised that at the end of all of that, I'd get to walk across the stage and show everyone that I had made it. But just like that, that promise was broken. I know that we're all suffering losses. The loss of loved ones, experiences, any sense of normal that we thought we knew. But if there's something I've learned through all of this, it's that I have a choice. We don't get to choose what happens to us, yet we are defined by how we choose to deal with it. So, I'm choosing to remember the adventures I've had with my best friends, to remember the sleepless nights of doing homework, the pain and agony of trying to make it through math class, to remember the person I started this journey out as and who I've become. I'm not saying I won't forever be heartbroken that I didn't get to have a real graduation, because that was something I'd looked forward to for my whole life. But I'm trying to remember that the lack of one experience doesn't create the absence of all the others. So, choose wisely. It's up to you how you look back on this time.
That was just so beautiful. I got chicken skin hearing her feelings.
You know, when you kind of think back to, well, mine was 20 years ago. It was supposed to be my 20-year reunion this year, you know, but to think back 20 years ago to what that feeling was like of being together with your classmates that some of them you've known since you were in kindergarten, you know, people that you've grown so close to that, you know, to this day, you tell me a name of someone that I went to school with and I can probably tell you their last name because it's just in that crazy part of your memory, you know? And to think that, you know, these students aren't going to get to do that. It's so heartbreaking and sad. At the same time, they're getting this whole new experience. So, you know, I don't know if that's a silver lining or not, you know, that they can say that they have a really unique graduation. I can hear she graduated from King Kikalike and I live right across the street. So I think, is it going on today?
Yes, it is. It's they had their drive-by diploma handout this morning at 10:30. And they have actually I heard 242 graduates this year and 206 were participating in the virtual graduation. And so we have a video from Ty Miller, who his mom drove through to help get the diploma, and they're celebrating tonight too. So social distance. You can hear them? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it really is a special time, and we have video from him, and it's just, yeah, the emotions you can see in Anna's video of her friends and how much friends mean to young people at that age. I mean, it is so crucial to be with your friends, and right now you can't, you know, so maybe slowly we'll be able to get to it. So let me see. I've got Ty Miller here, and it's another beautiful video.
All right, when you get to the front of the stage, you're gonna call your name, exit the vehicle, go to the backside, walk along the red carpet, yeah? Go up the stage, on the right side there's a little table, grab your diploma cover. Stand on the blue X, smile for the cameras. Once you say you're good, walk off the other side and come. Once you're on the red carpet, you're live video. So no trip. But if you trip, tuck and roll, two push-ups and flex to that camera.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, buddy, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Almost there. Here we go. Ty Miller.
I love how they thought this all out and how to make it special for the kids. I mean, you can see how they thought out the masks and the drive up and the seeing it on camera, the virtual experience for everyone, so everyone could see it at the same time from home. So it's just beautiful how people figure things out because they know that this is a really important time for these kids.
Yeah, these are weird times. These are just strange. Things like this make me think about when we're old and we look back on this time. I mean, we are kind of old already, but when we're older, at least from a high schooler's perspective, we're old.
Yes.
But when we're older and we look back on this time, how are we going to explain this? Or is this going to be normal then? Or is this going to be just, there was this one time in history, It's just kind of, I don't know. That's where my mind went to like, wow, it's just so different from what we experienced.
Yeah, I think our kids are going to say, what? That was so weird. Like, how could that happen? And you had to do what? You had to wear masks? Everybody had to wear, because I think by then they'll figure it out. I'm hoping. And so I feel like this is truly historic. We're going through these times that are historic. Like this is, I hope, never going to happen again. But it's going to be seared into our memories of this odd, but really precious time too. Because like I said, all these things are coming together by the community, people caring, people wanting to make it special, thinking about this is their graduation. This is the only time they get to graduate and to do what they can to come forward to make it really as beautiful as possible. So I do think it's going to be one of those way back when I was your age or, those things.
I mean, well, the next event that I've been hearing a lot about, on my Instagram, a lot of people will message me and ask me questions. And a question I've been getting a lot is, when can I have my wedding? And not just from the people who had weddings planned or are planning weddings, but from the wedding industry themselves. They're like, when do you think they're going to allow us to do this? And unfortunately, that's probably one of the last phases because it's the gathering part of it, right? It's the fact that when you have a wedding, a lot of us have large weddings, especially here in Hawaii, with our large extended families. And I don't know. I have no answer for them. And so this next Maui mama, her name is Malia. She has a 3-year-old son, and she and her fiance DJ, I guess it's been a long time coming for this engagement and for them to get married. And so she shares her experience with that.
Supposed to be getting married this past Saturday, May 16, 2020, to my fiance DJ. We got engaged last year in April. Planning went pretty smooth in the beginning. I mean, it's a little difficult for a lot of locals. No, it's really expensive to get married out here, but we were really blessed by some family friends to let us get married in their yard in Haiku. Everything kind of just dramatically changed when coronavirus came about in Hawaii, and we had to pretty much undo all the planning that we did. Had to call any vendors or people that were helping us with flowers or our rentals or food and change everything and let them know that it's been postponed. We had to let our family know on the mainland, and inner island, on island. A lot of people were upset, not against us, just in general disappointed because some family members have been wanting us to get married for a while. But it's okay. I think we've seen the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess you could say, and just know that it's not the end, it's just another day. We can get married at any time, it doesn't have to happen. So it's definitely a shocker, and a bummer and frustrating and upsetting at first, and it's a lot of emotions, which, you know, a lot of brides already have. So to have to go through it all over again is going to be fun, but it's okay. I wish all the other 2020 brides out there a lot of luck.
What a great attitude she has about it. That's a huge thing to have to cancel.
You know, born and raised Pukalani, finally getting married, and then a pandemic hits. I mean,
Who would have guessed?
Oh
you
my
can't plan
gosh,
for that.
right? Yeah, weddings, you and I have both been through a wedding. Like, they just take so much. There are just so many moving parts, and, you know, there's money involved and favors and friends and just a bunch of people, and then to have to undo it all. So then know that potentially you're going to be redoing it all is just
Yeah,
right?
the build up to just being able to just go ahead and you know that this is your time. It's like it's a certain special time in your life, and it's so encompassing. And then there's such a letdown. I mean, I was just thinking, like, she really was fairly calm about it for someone who, you know, you put so much time and energy and heart, and it's not that the moment's going to go away, but you feel like, you know, most people wait for a while, and then they're like, this is our time. So it's so hard to let that go. And I can't imagine, you know, just.
I think the uncertainty too, you know, it's that there's so much uncertainty in when, if, how this will happen in the future, you know, and so moving forward is just, it's just so unknown. And,
Right.
you know, you were talking about her demeanor, and what I kind of understood that as was like shock, you know, more like, I still can't believe this is happening to me, you know, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, you know, where it's like, wow, yeah, I'm going through the motions of undoing this and then knowing I have to redo it, but holy smokes. I mean, I still can't quite wrap my head around everything, you know? And
Right.
the governor announced we've moved in from the Safer at Home to the Act with Care portion, you know, of the recovery plan. And so more businesses are going to be opening up. But it's still a really uncertain path, you know, and who knows when it could all be shut down again. And so do you want to go through all of that all over again? My best friend is a wedding planner, and, you know, she has all the same questions, right? Because it's like, how can we expect, what do we do? Do we keep planning? Do we stop planning? Are vendors still going to be in business? You know, because the economic side of it has already shut down businesses. Businesses just can't open again.
And imagine if we have to social distance, have weddings social distanced, where everyone's wearing a mask, you know, you're in your beautiful dress, and if you have to wear a mask because there's a lot of people, or you have to space out the chairs and the eating situation, and, you know, you need a bigger venue because you need more space. I mean, it goes on and on. And
how
it could
strange does that look? Just that alone.
I was thinking the photos, you know, you're like having video and photos of your wedding, and like everyone's wearing masks and everything's so spaced apart, and you can have everyone sitting like in rows, you know, like you normally have. So how is that going to look? And then where can you do that where there's so much space? So you have to maybe limit your guest list. I mean, I don't know. The questions are like on and on and on as far as how does that look?
I mean, are weddings going to ever be the same, or should people be, if you want a traditional wedding, do you need to literally say like, oh, next year or the year after next? Right?
Right. I mean, that's a long time to wait when you're trying to plan your wedding, and you have to hold off on everything, all the vendors and everything, or arrange for them to be on hold or be waitlisted for that time. I mean, then there's a backlog. Think about that. There's the backlog of all the people who want to get married, you know, and all the the vendors and all of the locations. So yeah, it's I don't
And we're a
know.
destination on Maui. We
Mhm.
are a large wedding destination. So, it's not just the local brides, but it's the brides that wanted to fly in, the visitors that wanted to fly in and have their weddings here. And so it's such a, um, it's such a huge kind of undertaking. And I've heard a lot of people in the wedding industry they're just very confused. They don't know how to move forward. And it's an uncertain time for everyone. I was also making a list of like other types of events that we've been missing out on. And one that popped up that I thought was pretty special that we didn't get a video about was May Day.
Right. That was a huge one. It's the May Day Lay Day that we usually have. That was so
Yeah.
sad. I had people post, some of the teachers at our school post photos of last year. And it just made me just so sad because they were so beautiful. And then that we didn't get to experience that this year.
Yeah. And the kids love it too. I know for our school, at least, it's the one thing in the entire year where they practice together to perform, and they do it together. And so, I feel like it's a bonding experience, and it's also an experience for them to get out of their shell, and also just a celebration that's so unique to Hawaii. And it's something that, for us kids that grew up in Hawaii, that we'll remember forever. I remember every single May Day I ever did.
Really?
I was Princess of Loihi one year, which is the island that has not made it to the surface yet, but they didn't want to leave me out. So they gave me that princess spot.
But you were a princess.
And then when the next year I got to be the queen, it was for our after school program, May Day. And, you learn your hula and you learn your chants, and you learn why you're doing May Day. And yeah, it's just so sad that we weren't able to do that. So that was one of the things that kind of popped into my head.
And as you say that, I think about the community of moms that usually come together at our school, Halaikala Waldorf, where it's days and days of harvesting all the elements for the leis, and then coming together and like sewing for hours. And so it's a whole community experience that we just lost out on. So true.
Yeah. It's so sad. And then there's the big events, I was supposed to go to Mariah Carey in March.
You were.
And that got pushed to November. And I don't know if I want to be in a venue with that many people, even in November, so I'm probably going to get my money back. The Miss Hawaii pageant is completely canceled. In fact, the Miss America pageant, the girls that have their crowns right now are going to be the state title holders for 2 years, because they're skipping a year, and then they're going to start next year. And so that's kind of like mind blowing, because I don't think that's ever happened in the 90 plus years of the Miss America pageant. Football games, like what are those going to be like? You hear UH is getting ready for their season. And I think a lot of us are kind of like, well, yeah, okay, great. Now, what's that going to look like? How is that actually going to work? Because even the team itself can't social distance.
Right.
It's a contact sport. And then for here on Maui, the Maui Film Festival.
Oh, the Maui Film. That's where my husband and I had our first date. That's where like everything just came together under the stars. So that's one near and dear to my heart. And yeah, how can you do that? I mean, you have to have a lot of space for that many people.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's another big event.
I'm not sure if they canceled or they postponed it, but I know that it's not in June, right? Which is just so strange, because it's always in June. It's always on Father's Day weekend. And it's something that you can almost like set your calendar to. And, I love covering it. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those events that like feels good. And then when they have, especially the local night, where they feature all the local films, and you feel the change in the audience. Like you just feel like it's all your neighbors and friends, and and we're supporting our community members up on screen. And it's just such a special time and a special feeling and just such a unique venue and experience. And actually now my thought process is going somewhere else, because I was reading an article about drive-in movie theaters that now they're making a comeback.
Right.
And that on Oahu, they had a whole list and it sold out like this.
Oh,
so
I bet.
Potentially that could be, the new way to do something like a film festival.
We just need to get creative, I guess, with all these different things. Think differently now for a time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, we do want to hear if anybody else has any events that you've had to cancel or postpone. Anyone, if you can comment, we can answer and add that to the broadcast right now. Someone is saying hello to you.
Hi, Uncle Manny. I got your name right. I know you're not Bruce, I promise.
And then we have another fan of yours. She saw you at Choice Health Bar in Lahaina, and a huge
not
fan.
Recently.
Right.
It had to have been at least 3 months.
But Connor says you're my idol. That's what Connor says.
Oh my gosh. I appreciate that. I don't think I deserve that. Anyway, let's move on with the show. So
uncomfortable.
It is wrapping up our events, and unfortunately it's a sadder side of it. But I have also been hearing from a lot of people that have not been able to have funerals. And you hear about, of course, the coronavirus patients and all of that, and that's tough. Fortunately, here in Hawaii, we haven't had too much death. Every death counts, though, and I know it's a heartbreak for the family of those people. One of my friends lost his grandfather to the coronavirus here on Maui.
Oh, wow.
Or his great uncle, I should say. And so there's that whole other thing of not being able to see them in their last moments and all of that, which is just so heartbreaking. But, there was a young gentleman over in Hana that passed away recently during the coronavirus pandemic. And that family is still reeling. They're reeling so much that they can't come on camera to explain the things that they're going through, because they can't gather, they can't grieve in a normal way, and they can't celebrate the life of this person in a normal way. We lost William Kahayali, Uncle Willie K, and that just kind of popped into my head when they ended their announcement with, services will be announced at a later time. And I just thought, gosh, what is the family going through right now with those plans, and especially such a beloved, just a part of our Maui fabric, person. How, if they had a traditional funeral, there would be thousands of people there to help celebrate him, and coming together and showing that family just how loved he is. And I'm sure they're feeling the digital love, over the virtual type of love that they're getting, but there's just nothing like getting a hug and feeling someone, especially in those super raw moments of feeling pain. Mm-hmm. You just need someone to hold on to.
There's something about going to the memorial or funeral and having that moment to be able to speak to the crowd and of the people that and just see the sea of faces that loved your loved one. And without doing that, that is a part of the process of grief. There's not necessarily closure, because we're always going to grieve or feel for that loved one. But it's part of that process. And if we don't have that part, we're at a loss. We're at a loss to how we process. And doing it alone is not the same as coming together with all your family and friends and seeing all of their friends and extended family. And that in-person thing. It's that in-person thing. And to just see and hear from people, even if it's digital, it helps. But I think for that one day that you all get together for that memorial, it's an event that just does something, just to you that helps you to move on. It helps you to go, okay, we did that. And now I can really go deeper in. Now that I've taken care of the outer community, I can go in. And so that's missing. That's a hard thing to have to just not even have the opportunity to do. So I'm feeling for all those. I know some people who have had that experience.
Yeah, we definitely heard from several Maui mommies, in our community that wanted to share with us their private thoughts, but didn't want to talk about them publicly because they just weren't ready yet. But, we just want to extend our condolences to anyone who's going through grief right now. There's just this whole other layer on top of that grief of this pandemic that makes things just exponentially more difficult. So we feel for you. We're here for you. We hear you. And thank you for sharing your stories with us so that we could share them with others. And hopefully, talking about this kind of stuff helps people to not feel so alone.
Right, right. Now, I had a video here, but I'm not sure that it'll play in Google. You'll see, I don't even want to say almost, but it's like a surprise. You'll see the surprise of somebody special, their birthday, and it will make you smile. It made me smile. It made, especially living here in the islands, it will give you a little spark of joy. So why don't we say that?
And what's so ironic about this is my Miss Hawaii sisters and I, we actually created a music video where we sang that exact song, and we launched it a week or two ago. And I think it was just meant to be, because the day we launched it, which had been set for many, many days or even a month, I think we had set the date of this is when we're releasing it, was the day where they announced that there would be no Miss Hawaii or Miss America that year. And then the fact that now they're celebrating this person's birthday on Google.
You can say if you want.
Yeah, it's Grata. And we actually sang.
Birthday.
Yes, we sang that song. And so if you go into Google, you can Google Miss Hawaii somewhere over the rainbow and it'll pop up. I think it has, 30,000 plus views right now. But it's a really special collaboration that we did to help to lift your spirits. And I think you'll feel the Hawaii mana that we wanted to bring to it.
Do you want to sing a little bar?
Oh, no.
No. Okay.
You can go to the video. Go to the video.
Okay, I just thought I would invite you in case.
I have a very small part. But the ladies are very talented. So we have hula dancers and singers. And it was, it's a whole, it was really special. So as we talk about music, now we can kind of go into our dance challenge.
Right.
Before we go into the dance challenge, we did want to give a shout out to Jalen and Kate.
Yes.
Do you want to say something in particular?
I do. Well, this broadcast is being streamed into the Maui Mommies main group on Facebook. And Jalen Hansen is so generous in allowing us to do this because we are able to reach 10,000 moms in that group who are really active and maybe need to just, have something like this to be able to hear other stories from other moms. I don't know of anything else going on like this. And I think that hearing other people's stories just makes us feel more normal, not so crazy. And then Kate Griffiths of the Maui Mama magazine, she is the one who really helped get this started too. And this is an extension of the Maui Mama. So she has given us permission to do this as part of the Maui Mama magazine. So I wanted to give a shout out to her. Thank you so much, Kate, for helping us to do this. I'm sure all of you have seen the Maui Mama magazine everywhere, all over Maui and grocery stores and wherever you can pick it up. It's still happening. There's a June issue coming out, so look for that. But thank you both, mamas, for helping us with this. And that's why it's happening. That's why we're able to get this on Facebook. So thanks so much.
Ditto.
Yay. So our next and last segment is the fun part. Now we're going to be doing challenges every show. And maybe this was a little much of an ask because, not everybody is so like brave to dance in front of the camera. So we did our part because we wanted to show you like it doesn't have to be perfect. Literally, like I have my pandemic poundage on and you can see I'm not perfect. So when we do these contests and challenges, it's really about just having fun. It's really about just having something to bring in your ohana to go, let's do this. Let's be a part of this. So there's a fun thing in your week, not to stress you out, but just to really have fun with it. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, it's just for you, for a little bright spot in your week. So that's why we have these.
Well, and maybe we'll look into giving you some incentive, and maybe we'll look into some giveaways. And so we'll tell you what the challenge is for next week. And if we can figure something out.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have some giveaways. That sounds great. So we're going to leave you with this video and we'll see you next week, Wednesday. Anything else, Malika? Sorry.
Yeah. So next week, our topic is running errands.
Right.
So that encompasses a lot. I know. I think at first I was thinking, and Angelina and I were discussing this, that maybe shopping would be a good one, but running errands is bigger than that, right? It's like all the things. I got to get a safety check from my car. I have to go to the post office. I need to, it's all the things that you need to do in life. And so we want you guys to share with us how running your errands has changed. How is it impacting you personally? Is it an emotional thing for you? Are you like, oh, whatevs? Are you like, I hate wearing the mask? Are you having issues because your children don't wear masks and people aren't letting you into stores? I mean, what's happening? We want to hear from you. We want to hear what your experience has been like. I know personally it gives me anxiety to go to the store.
Mm-hmm. It's an event. I have to gear up for it. Yeah. Definitely.
So we'll go in detail into running errands next week, and we really would love to share your stories. Our challenge for next week is #This is my Ohana challenge. It's very easy. Send us a photo of your Ohana. So the bigger the better. We want to see that big ohana. The last time you guys got together with the extended families at your Christmas, get together, or your family reunion, or if it's just, the three of you. Hey, any family size, we'll take it. We want to share it. We want to show your ohana to everybody, all of our viewers, and we want to celebrate ohana. And that's why we started this show for mamas by Maui mamas, but we really need you guys to be a part of it as well. And we want you to be a part of it. That's what makes the show special.
Exactly. That's the reason we're doing this. So we don't want to just be talking here on our own. That's not so interesting. We need you and your stories. That's what people want to hear, is just everyday, ordinary things that we all are going through. So come forward, share your stories, message us on Facebook. We're happy to talk to you about any subject that's on your mind related to coronavirus, COVID, any of that stuff. So, and thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate those that are here, that are commenting, giving us love. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
All right. And here is our dance challenge this week.
Daddy shark, daddy shark, daddy shark, daddy shark. Grandma shark, grandma shark, grandma shark, grandma shark. Grandpa shark, grandpa shark, grandpa shark, grandpa shark. Let's go hunt, let's go hunt. go hunt. Let's go hunt. Run away, Safe at last, safe at last, safe at last, safe at last. It's the end, it's the end, it's the end, it's the end.